All right, so homework 29, the end of chapter 2. Back to some things that are in some functional notation. So this is telling me to take the s function and add the t function, right? S plus t, right? So my s function is 3x plus 6. I'm going to add the t function, which is just a 4x. Now since I'm adding, I'm just going to add up my like terms. Which ones there are like terms?
The 3x and 4x.
So I'm going to add the 3x plus the 4x, and I'm going to get 7x plus the 6 then. That's just going to be my answer then.
Oh.
Okay? The next one. What's the dot between the s and the t tell me I'm going to do?
Multiply.
I'm going to multiply. I'm going to take the 3x plus 6, and I'm going to multiply it times the 4x. If I'm going to multiply then, in this case, I'm going to have to use my distributive property, right? So I'm going to take the 3x times the 4x, which would be 12x to the 2nd, because they both have x's. And then I'm going to take the 6 times the 4x. Six times 4x would be 24x. Those aren't like terms. I can't combine them. That's just going to be my answer. So I just took this times this times that, because I was multiplying, right? Now the next one, it tells me to do s minus t, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to take 3x plus 6, and I'm going to minus the 4x. So normally when I'm subtracting, I get rid of my parentheses here because I have to distribute that negative, right? I'm going to have 3x plus 6, and then this is going to just be minus 4x. But if there were two terms in there, I'd have to do minus 4x and minus whatever that other term was. But now, again, I'm just going to combine my like terms then. So if I do that, I'm going to get what?
-1.
Negative 1
X.
x. Write it over here. Negative 1x.
Minus 6.
Not minus 6.
Oh, plus 6.
Plus 6. Now, this one, notice, is a little bit different than the previous ones. The previous ones, this is telling me, leave it in terms of x, leave it in terms of x, but this one is telling me, put 4 in for x. That's what that in parentheses means. So once I found my answer, I'm going to use that x equals 4, and I'm going to plug it in and then evaluate my expression. So I'm going to take -1 times 4 plus 6. And if I do that, I get
-4.
-4 plus 6, which is 2. 2 then is going to be the answer for that one. Because after I solve it, I'm then going to put a number in and evaluate it. Okay, so they're always going to have an adding, a multiplying, and subtracting, but they're going to switch the order, and on the last one, they're always going to have you take your answer and put a number in. So let's go down to number 2. Number 2 then. It says, suppose we have the functions s and t. S is equal to x cubed and t is equal to 3x squared. First of all, we're going to do s plus t, right? So if we're going to do s plus t, what should we have?
You're going to have x squared 3, or
X to the third.
X to the third plus 3x squared.
And technically when you start, you have them in parentheses, but we're not going to be able to add those. They're not like terms, right? So we're just going to drop the parentheses and say, oh, that's x cubed plus 3x squared. We can't do anything with that. That's just going to be our answer then. So on the second one, what are we going to do?
We're going to go x squared, or
X to the third.
minus 3x squared.
And again, I can't really minus those. They're not like terms. I'm just going to get rid of the parentheses. So x to the third minus 3x squared. Whoop. It's going to be my answer. Now on the last one, what am I going to do?
X squared, x
X to the
to
third.
the third times minus 3x.
Whoops. There's no minus in there.
Oh,
It's just the 3x squared, right?
yeah.
So x to the third times 3x squared. Now we can multiply those two things together. If we multiply those together, what do we get?
Oh, I see what happened there. I was thinking, well, how did I get a -3? But that's the sign, okay.
That was the sign here, yep, exactly.
So 3x 2 equals, so we are going to, is it going to be 3x 5
Yep, 3x to the
to
fifth.
the 5th?
Now on this one, I'm going to put -1 in for x, right? So if x is going to equal -1, I'm going to do 3 times -1 to the 5th power and solve that then.
So it's going to be -3
So it's going to be -3.
to the 5th.
Nope.
Nope.
It's just going to be -3 because -1 to the 5th is -1, and -1 times 3 is -3, okay? So this part just equals -1, and then I have 3 times -1, which is -3. Because if you did -1 times -1 times -1 times -1 times -1, guess what? You still get -1.
Okay.
All right. So, third one. What are we going to do on the third one?
We are going to go x plus 5, parentheses, times 2x to the second power.
Okay, and so
Or to
then,
the second.
yep. Then we're going to multiply it out. So when we multiply it, we would get
We're going to get 2x to the third.
Mhm.
Third,
2x to the third.
2x to the third plus 5.
What?
No? Oh, plus 10
Plus 10
x squared.
x squared, right? We have to distribute it times both of them. So 2x to the third plus 10x squared going to be my answer. Okay, then on the second one, what are we going to do?
We're going to go x plus 5 plus 2x to the second power.
And do we have any like terms that we can combine?
No, I guess.
No, you can't, right? None of those are like terms. So I'm just going to drop my parentheses and say I have x plus 5 plus 2x squared. You could rearrange it and put it in a better order than that, but you don't really have to. But we really can't do much with that because we can't add any like terms. So we're just stuck. Okay, how about the third part of that?
So that's going to be x plus 5 minus 2x to the second.
Okay, so again, no like terms, we're just going to have the x plus 5 minus the 2x squared. But on this third one, what are we going to do?
You're going to do, what's the 4?
X equals 4. And this time we have more than one spot that has an x, right?
Yep.
So we're going to have 4 plus 5 minus 2 times 4 squared.
So we're going to go minus 4.
So what do we have to do first if we're going to solve that?
X squared
I have to follow my order of operations. What should I do first?
You're going to do, you gotta put all your x's together?
Well, you put the numbers in for the x's, so the x's should be gone, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I gotta solve that now. If I'm gonna solve that, what should I do to solve that?
So you're going to, well, I would just put the x by the 2,
There's no x there.
but the x plus 5.
The-
Oh, is this is my new answer? Oh, yeah, x plus 4, okay.
X is
I'm over
4,
here. Yeah.
so I'm putting 4s in the spot of the x's and getting rid of the x's and finding the number answer.
So you're going to drop parentheses, it's going to be 20 minus,
Nope. Follow your order of operations. What do you have to do first? Now here, it's in parentheses, but I don't really need them, right? It's to the first power because there's no exponent. So that's just going to be 4 plus 5 minus 2, but here, what do I have to do with the 4?
you have to do 4 times 2
4
to the second.
to the second power. I have to square the 4 first. 4 squared is 16, right?
Oh,
Then I have to multiply, right? In our order of operations, we do exponents, multiplying and dividing, and then adding and subtracting at the end. So now we got to multiply. So we have 4 plus 5 minus 32. 2 times 16 is 32. Now we can do our adding and subtracting. So if you do 4 plus 5 minus 32.
4 plus 5 should be 20.
4 plus 5. That's what that says,
10,
right?
Or 9.
9.
9 minus 32 equals, what is that, minus 18?
I don't think so.
Oh. Oh, 23.
Negative, right?
Negative.
Negative 23. So negative 23 is going to be that final answer that you put in. Now if you're stuck and you're not sure what to do to solve this, punch it in with the parentheses just like it looks. The whole thing at one time.
Oh, really?
Oh really? Let's try it. Grab your so parentheses 4.
4
Close your parentheses. Plus 5 minus 2, and then in parentheses 4 squared equals.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because the calculator knows the order of operations.